From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, a North Pole man has been charged with first-degree arson in connection with yesterday's fire off the Richardson Highway between Fairbanks and North Pole.
25-year-old Thomas Sanders was arraigned this afternoon in Fairbanks District Court. According to court documents, troopers were called to a residence on Durango Trail where witnesses reported that Sanders assaulted two individuals and then set a number of tires on fire. Sanders fled the scene while multiple agencies from both the ground and air attempted to contain the outdoor fire before it spread to the surrounding woods. Troopers say a short time later, a second fire was started north of the original blaze, which was the direction Sanders fled. After setting up a perimeter, officials were able to locate Sanders and take him into custody. He is being held without bail at the Fairbanks Correctional Center.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly, by a 6-2 vote, approved a $155.4 million operating budget and set the annual property tax levy to 11.78 mils. That's nearly a $500,000 increase on the current property tax amount. Jamie Schwartzwald reports on what the added taxes will fund.
I really think we absolutely have to fund education as best we can and to the highest level that we can afford.
Assembly Presiding Officer Carl Castle speaking on a budget amendment to add $4.5 million in local education dollars on top of the nearly $51 million in Mayor Luke Hopkins' original budget proposal. The Assembly approved the money, which will be funded through a mill rate hike by a 6-2 vote. Assemblyman Van Lawrence originally proposed a $5 million increase.
And yeah, it's better than nothing, but it's just not enough. And you know, we're talking about the quality of education that our children are receiving.
It's a matter of where your priorities are, and I think that this is a priority for our community as a whole.
Assemblymen Guy Asantley and Lance Roberts voted against the increase, which passed 6-2. Roberts contends that with military impact aid and other factors, the borough is funding education well above 100% of the allowable limit.
So we are currently giving more money to the school district on a per person per mill rate basis than we ever have. So we are fully funding school.
School district officials came into the night needing about $1.7 million to balance the district's budget back to the level the school board approved in March. However, the additional $2.8 million will be used to restore positions cut during that March budget process.
I will gather all my executive directors and department heads. I've already got a list of potential add-backs, and just in case we had the opportunity, so then we'll start to prioritize those, and I'll make a recommendation to the board.
The goal of the school board has been to keep class sizes small and to have whatever cuts be as far away from the kids as possible. So the add backs will probably be that strategy in reverse, where we're putting positions back where they most affect children.
Democrat members of the Alaska State House of Representatives, Adam Wold, David Guttenberg, and Scott Kawasaki, who attended remotely, listened to the concerns of constituents during a town hall-style meeting last evening. The discussion with the politicians, who represent several districts throughout Fairbanks, was held at the Fairbanks Legislative Information Office. The primary issues raised by area voters include furthering education funding and expanding social services such as Medicaid, which was stalled by the House Finance Committee earlier that day. Citizens also voiced concern over the political atmosphere in Juneau, which some believed was becoming too divided and unresponsive. Representative Guttenberg says House Democrats are willing to negotiate to expand Medicaid.
Things are on the table, and you know, we're talking with them and meeting with them. I think they've been holding hearings. I don't think they've been real, and you know, it's unfortunate, but I think we just need to keep working at it.
All right, when we come back, the stage is set for tomorrow for hundreds of Fairbanksans to march for the fight against heart disease with the annual Heart Walk.
Also, Gardening Tips returns for another season with tonight's installment talking about how to prepare your perennials for the summer. Stay with us. And welcome back. Fairbanksans gathered this morning at Fairbanks Police Department for the annual memorial ceremony. Stephanie Woodard was there and has more now in this report.
The names of 69 law enforcement officials were read this morning, all of which have been killed in the line of duty in our state.
The big thing is that we need to never forget. You know, there's a bond between police and fire, emergency medical, our military, and it's always tragic when we lose one of our fellow brothers and sisters.
Speakers stressed the importance of law enforcement officials in our community and said each day they put their lives on the line for the Golden Heart City and all of the state of Alaska.
They go out there into the public every single day. They put on the badge, they put on the gun, they wear a uniform, and their job that they have is dangerous. And I think events like this remind us of how dangerous that job is.
Today was important for many officers to let their fellow officers and community members know one thing.
Why it is that we do what we do. It's for people like you, for our loved ones.
This month marked the one-year anniversary of the shooting death of Trooper Gabe Rich and Sergeant Scott Johnson, both of who were remembered this month as well in Washington, D.C. on the National Police Memorial Wall.
I miss my friend, that's it. It hurts. Crime doesn't stop, criminals don't stop. We can't stop either.
I'm Stephanie Woodard reporting. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and it kills more people in America than all forms of cancer combined. Tomorrow, the citizens of the interior will gather to march for donations towards fighting heart disease. Veterans Memorial Park in downtown Fairbanks will be the starting line for 2 separate walks of 1 mile and 2.5 miles around the city, finishing back at the park. There will be a variety of fun events, all focusing on heart-related activities.
We're going to have some really fun activities and some very healthy activities. You can get your blood pressure checked from Tanana Valley Clinic. We're going to have a kids booth with face painting and games. We'll also have a water booth and North Pole coffee and just some really fun sponsor activity.
Well, with the warm temperatures and the green trees coming back to life, many in the community are ready to get into the garden. So once again, this summer we'll be airing the gardening tips each Friday. Tonight we start with perennials.
Hi, this is Stephen Seafelt with the Cooperative Extension Service, and we're here for another year of garden tips. I'm joined today by Darcy Echeverry and also Jim Holm of Hometown Nursery. And today Jim's going to talk to us about
perennials.
Perennials
are plants that live over the winter here in Fairbanks, and they're not just a few. There's quite a few of them here. We have about 380 varieties here at Hometown Nursery, all different colors and sizes of perennials that are easy to plant, some in the shade, some in the sun. Some are a lot better for use of making your house attractive to sell it. So there's just an awful lot of stuff here in Fairbanks. I would like to show you a couple. This is one that's one of my favorite. It's called Troleus. It's one of our better perennials to bloom here in Fairbanks. It blooms sometimes twice a season, and sometimes it blooms the whole season depending upon the weather. Troleus are quite easy to transplant. They need a fairly drained soil, but they're very good to grow here in Fairbanks. We also can grow many poppies. This one happens to be an Iceland poppy, and you'll see the poppies have a very bright color and they're very good to use in your garden. We also have lily of the valley for a shade area. There's many shade plants here. There's Virginia, but lily of the valley has a wonderful smell. You could, the fragrance is delightful, and you can use it for shady areas. It will sort of take over, so it is kind of aggressive. I'd be careful not to put it in a place you were worried about it taking over your bed. We also have another one for shade and or sun. It's called a Juga reptans, which it does a pretty good job of covering up an area in a shady area. Also, I use Achillea, which we have a natural Achillea here. We have yarrow, which is white. This particular one is a yellow one. There's also red ones, paprika, which is kind of an orangey red. So there's a lot of possibilities in the Achillea or the yarrow family.
Well, Jim, thanks, and join us next week, and we'll be talking about transplanting annuals.
Gardening tips, brought to you by Fairbanks Stump Grinders and by Midnight Sun Family Medicine.
All right, coming up next in sports, Joe Cook brings us another player signing a national letter of intent.
Also, stick around for this week's Play of the Week. That and more with Joe after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. TGIF, and it's time to get your weekend started right with the local Friday Sportscast. This weekend should be a pretty good weekend for one Lathrop Malamute. He signed a national letter of intent today. JT Schneering of the Lathrop Rifle Team will stay in Alaska. He signed to the Alaska Nanook Rifle Team. The Nanooks have finished the last 2 seasons as the national runner-up. They also won this year's national small bore title. Head coach Dan Jordan and UAF returned 6 experienced shooters from last year's team, including Lathrop alums Lorelei Stanfield, Jamie, and Casey Barnes. Schneering led the Lathrop Malamutes to a sweep of the air rifle and small bore MAC championships as a senior. He won the overall MAC air rifle title as well. Just this month, Schneering finished in the top 30 at the Junior Olympic Championships in Colorado Springs. Schneering explains why he chose to be a Nanook.
It's nice because I'm home. I get to still have the luxuries of being home, and that's it. So just throughout the years, able to shoot at Dan's range, of course, and get experience up there. I want to be at the top of the team by freshman year. Not the very top, but towards the top, to the point where I'm traveling on a traveling team consistently throughout the next 3 years of my career up there. So.
Today at West Valley High School was the first day of the final regular season track and field meet that took place. West Valley is also the site of this year's Region 6 Championships, which is next weekend. Hutchinson is the host this year. All the athletes are using this as the final tune-up before regionals. In boys shot put, Lathrop's Jack Dickinson, he threw 41 feet 1 inch in the third flight. West Valley's Jake Foshee was right behind him with a throw of 38 feet 5 1/4 inches. Now the state leader in the high, long, and triple jumps, Lathrop's Jared Welsh, standing behind his teammate Devin Middleton. You're going to see here, he participated in a couple flights today, but took it easy. His teammate Devin Middleton, he jumped 38 feet 7 1/2 inches in the triple jump in the third flight. For the ladies, Tri-Valley's Olivia Joel led the first flight in the discus. In the second flight, West Valley's Ileana Cassiano threw 95 feet 10 inches to reclaim the top spot. She's been top 3 in the interior this year, and she's been top 5 in the state in shot put and discus, but she deflects the praise and the rankings.
I try not to focus on that too much, and I try to set myself on higher standards and try to act like a leader for everyone. So, you know, I show up to practice so that they can show up to practice. So, I don't know. We balance off of each other because I know many times they're the reasons why I come to practice. We have definitely been trying to get my height on my throws because I've been throwing them kind of flat to the ground. So we've been working on throwing my hand up instead of straight out, and that's definitely given me about an extra 10 feet.
High school softball and soccer teams had the night off on Thursday, so baseball squads had the spotlight out at Arco Field. The Lathrop Malamutes hosted the North Pole Patriots in a conference game. The Patriots scored the first run of the game on a Derek Overby RBI single. He's the North Pole third baseman. Then Lathrop got their first at bat in the bottom of the first, and they ripped off 5 runs. Brady Brooks, he struggled in his first 2 innings, walking 2 for runs. He gave us some RBIs. The Malamutes, they were up 5-1 at the end of the first, and they came back for more in the second. Mike Fitzpatrick, the University of Ozarks commit, threw 9 Ks and allowed 1 run in his start. Evan Wilkin and Cam Walker had back-to-back stand-up RBI doubles to increase Lathrop's lead to 9-1 after 3 innings. The Malamutes, they go on to win this one 11-1. Lathrop is the first team in the state to reach 7 wins, and the only team still undefeated in conference play at 7-0. And now we wrap up the Friday Sportscast with the play of the week. There were almost 70 total votes this week for the I-5, the most votes in recent memory, so there were some exceptional plays this past week. Taylor DeAngelis saves led early in the week, then Evan Wilkins' solo double play led the voting for much of the week, but in a late charge, the play of the week goes to Autumn Hendry of the West Valley Wolfpack. The votes almost turned out like her play here. Hendry's 3-run home run against the Hutchinson Hawks was huge as West Valley, they came back from a 2-run deficit to win 9-8 on Tuesday. Now to pick the next play of the week, watch the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's a wrap for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your weekend weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into the Friday edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again. Another great day across the interior. Temperatures once again in the low to mid 70s, and we're looking at that to continue right on through the weekend. I know it sounds like a broken record, but this time it's nice to be able to sound like a broken record saying the same thing for this wonderful forecast. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. On our photograph night sent by Larry Lester, look at how calm those waters are on Birch Lake. What a beautiful shot that is. The sunset at Birch Lake. And as always, if you have a photograph that you want to share, well, please, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. Your numbers look like this. 72 currently, after a high, well, close to 75 in some areas. The low last night, 43. The record high was 81. That was set in 1915. The record low, 23 in 1937. Your sunrise and sunset, 18 hours and 41 minutes of daylight. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday, and I know we're going to be higher than this temperature for the daytime high today. We'll have it at 11 o'clock. Now, as far as what's going on across the rest of the state, it's clearing over the southeast Alaska. High pressure is really building in right about here, a big high pressure ridge that's going to keep all the moisture off to the west. It's doing a good job of that. As you can see, there is some moisture moving across southwest parts of the state. Other than that, things are looking really good, and the big map verifies that too. As you can see, 68 degrees at Juneau, lots of sunshine around the Anchorage Bowl, 59 degrees there. Kodiak at 49, a little shower activity. Cold Bay at 48 degrees. And a very nice day once again at Nome with 43 degrees there. Warming up a little bit in Barrow, 31, and 70 degrees in Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather looks like this, and once again, a few scattered showers. Well, they're out of the picture now, where they were earlier today, but over Southern California, things are starting to clear up there, and temperatures slowly warming back up. Not too warm in Phoenix, only 76 degrees. Thunderstorms across the nation's midsection once again. Over the deep south, it is rumbling there also with showers and thunderstorms from New Orleans right on over to Miami, and even a few thunderstorms reported in the New York area. On the satellite and radar, you can see again the circulation with this system now moving inland. That's helping to spawn a lot of activity, and is going to be making folks really miserable over the weekend in the Central Plains, because here's what's going to happen. Look at the storms that are expected to break out all the way from Fargo, North Dakota, right on down to Dallas-Fort Worth. And the biggest intense area is going to be around Kansas, it looks like right now. And it's going to be responsible for possibly hail, tornadoes, flash flooding, and wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour. So watch out for that tomorrow night. And the overall driving force is once again going to be the jet stream coming from almost a west to southwest flow, and then right on up to the northeast, and that'll be bringing more moisture in and helping to fuel those storms. So a wild weekend in store for the lower 48. But here in Alaska for the northern sections tomorrow, not too bad. Rain showers at Nome, mostly cloudy skies in Barrow, and lots of sunshine for Fort Yukon. While over the interior, looking really great. Winds slowly dying down in Haley. They have been gusting as high as 55 to 60 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies for Delta and for Fairbanks, with a high temperature tomorrow in Fairbanks around 75. And as far as the southeastern sections, scattered clouds across the region from Juneau to Ketchikan, while over the southwest part of the state, you bet that's where the worst weather is. Periods of rain for Cold Bay and Bethel, and cloudy and a chance of rain in Kodiak. And around the Anchorage Bowl, if you're heading on down there, looks like rain showers at Valdez, partly cloudy skies in Homer, and mostly sunny skies for Anchorage. So a mixed bag of weather across the entire state. Our forecast for the remainder of the night looks like this: 45 degrees, pretty warm. Variable high cloudiness, continued mild. And look at tomorrow, looking at about 70 degrees, sunny skies, not too warm, but still very comfortable for all the activities going on. And the extended forecast looks even better. Once again, up to the mid to upper 70s all the way across the board, and mid 40s for the overnight lows. No precipitation in the forecast, and nothing but great sunshine, but also at the same time, low humidities are expected. So watch out for the potential of wildfires that could really be developing this next week. I keep an eye on that. But boy, for tomorrow for the Heart Walk, and for Aviation Day, for everything, it's going to be fantastic.
This whole week looks to be fantastic.
Oh, yes, looks great. Yeah, really, really good.
All right, well, good weekend and good week ahead, too, from that long range.
Yeah, could see 80 by next Friday.
80, nice. All right, thanks, Mike. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us, but before we leave you tonight.
KTVF and Bailey's Furniture are teaming up for a spring dream giveaway where you can win a furniture package from Bailey's valued at $2,500.
I can't win it. I can't win it. But you can. That's right. This week's mystery word is memory. Visit Bailey's Furniture for more information and your chance to win.
Okay, tonight on NBC Nightly News, surviving a crash on a train, where is the safest place to sit? That's next with Lester Holt.
All right, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
That'll do it from all of us here at the News Center. Have a great evening and a great weekend. We'll see you back here at 11.